our last topic, and I'm gonna out myself here and say that when I learned about this topic, I was not familiar with the acronyms in the title. So the next topic title is Fun with EDR, XDR, and I did not look up these acronyms because I wanted to be surprised, and I also didn't want to prejudice my learning about them from Philip, who will be talking about them. I can maybe guess as to what the DR part might mean, given that a lot of people use LINBIT software in their disaster recovery plans, but maybe Philip, now you can tell me what these acronyms stand for, and if I'm wrong about the DR part, you can let me down gently, please.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, EDR and XDR. Oh my God, I forgot what the acronym stand for. It is something like endpoint. Was it defense? And there are something else. And XDR then says it's not only about the endpoint. You know, I'm too long in the industry. For me, it's still a virus scanner. So this is about virus scanners. Now today they do a little bit more. They also watch network traffic, etc. But it's still a very central aspect of this kind of security software is scanning files for patterns. And and this is a incident or that we had at a customer, and the customer reported us repeatedly problems with our LINBIT SDS offering combined with CloudStack. And we were working on this ticket for a month, and the first thing we recognized is that LINBIT that DRBD receives signals while it is auto-promoting. So to explain a little bit the background, when a process fires up that uses DRBD, very often it opens the DRBD device quite in the beginning, after the process starts. And in this case, we're talking about the KVM process, so virtual machines, right? So KVM starts up, and one of the first thing it does is it opens DRBD, and DRBD is an auto promote. So the process calls into the kernel. DRBD is secondary at the moment, but it can promote, so it sends messages over the network to its peers, and the peer agrees. Usually they agree, and then DRBD promotes to primary, and then it returns back to user space, and the open operation succeeded, and the process can continue. And what we noticed at this customer is that DRBD was receiving signals in just this point in time. Well, sometimes. And we were puzzled researching it, and then it turned out that that it is actually a documented property of the open system call, that when a signal comes in while the process is in the kernel, in the open system call, the open system call might return with an error code saying, oh, I was interrupted by a signal. If you want the open to proceed, you better restart it. You better retry it. But that's actually a very old behavior of Unix kind operating systems. And there's also a newer behavior where you can ask the kernel to restart the system call if it was interrupted by a signal. So, okay, this is something we learned the hard way. We had to fix that in DRBD because DRBD wasn't doing that properly. But after we did all that, We asked the question, that's strange. We have so many users and customers using DRBD. Why do we receive this signal just at this customer? And so I asked the question, hey, dear Mr. Customer, might it be that you have some endpoint security software installed? And it turned out it is. And just weeks later, we were debugging another interesting issue at this customer. And this time, one of my colleagues came a lot quicker to the conclusion that it is, again, the endpoint security software. So the second item we had is, this was a CloudStack virtualization system. And in CloudStack, when you create a snapshot and you have the storage stack configured, that the snapshot is copied to secondary storage as soon as it is created. You need to know in a CloudStack environment, the so-called secondary storage is an NFS share. And CloudStack mounts the NFS share only when it needs it. So by default, it's not mounted. So it gets a request to take a snapshot. Then it takes a snapshot on the primary storage. Then it mounts this NFS share. Then it copies over the data to this NFS share, and then it wants to unmount it again. And here is where the problem was. The unmount was failing. And all the CloudStack code wasn't dealing correctly with this unmount failure. Again, because it happens for nobody. And again, this was connected to the so-called endpoint security software, because it's a virus scanner, right? A new volume becomes available. So what's a virus scanner doing? It starts to scan the content for virus patterns. The NFS share might be huge, so that might take some time. And you know what happens when you try to unmount an NFS share and the process is actively accessing files on that share? Well, the unmount is failing. So our takeaway, don't install endpoint security software on random hypervisors in your cloud system. That's what I had to tell, what I want to tell you about this. Back to you, Michael. Thank you.